right, in today's training, I'm going to show you what to say, what to do when a prospect actually ghosts you, right? You've had a great conversation. Maybe you booked in another appointment. Maybe they're about to pay, and all of a sudden they go missing in action. What do you say? What do you do? Oh my gosh. Come over here. I'm going to show you what most salespeople do and how they lose the deal when they try to follow up compared to what to actually do to get the prospect to come back to you. You're not going to want to miss this, I can assure you. So look at here, like this is a keynote that I'm about to do here. So look at this. This is how most salespeople follow. They say these big words like, "Hey, Sally, just circling back with you. It was a pleasure talking to you the past several weeks. We'd scheduled an appointment with you again about a week ago, but something must have come up for you and we didn't hear back to reschedule. I'm praying that you're okay." Does a prospect really believe you're praying for them? Unlikely. We'd love to work with you. Here at XYZ Company, we take pride in the work we do with our clients, and we know we can do the same level of work that would make you feel proud and help you achieve your retirement goals. Let's say if you sold financial services. We've been able to help many different people like XYZ, ABC, YYY, OOO, and many others achieve their goals, and we're very proud of the work we do. Remember, we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau, and our founders started the company with a unique vision to be able to help people like yours solve today's unique challenges with our XYZ solutions. We look forward to hearing back from you and showing you all the things we can do for you and your family. Sincerely, Gretchen Colesworth. Don't be like Gretchen. How many of your prospects do you genuinely believe even read more than one sentence of this email? Ask yourself, when you ghost a salesperson and email you some 6-paragraph email, how much of that are you actually reading? Unlikely. You're probably going to read the first sentence and then delete it. It's the same thing with your prospects. So come up back over to the vibe board. I'm going to show you the right way to do this where they actually respond once they've ghosted you. Now, let's go over what do you do now that I've showed you kind of like what not to do with that wordy email that you just saw, which is pretty standard in most industries. I'm going to show you what to say, the right words to use, and even the right tonality in a voicemail compared to a text message, compared to an email. There's a little bit of nuances, a little bit of a tweak. Now, once again, I just want to specify, this does not work. What I'm about to show you, I'm not talking about a prospect you've not talked to, that maybe you had a 1-minute conversation and they said, call me back later. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you've already had a conversation, you've done a discovery call, maybe a meeting, they were moving forward. Maybe you're in B2B and you booked a second appointment and they ghost you. Or maybe you're in B2C, business to consumer sales. They're ready to go. They have to go get their credit card. And then all of a sudden they just go missing in action. Okay, what do you do to get them to re-engage? Now, prospect could be about to pay. They go MIA. Maybe you booked second, third, fifth appointment. They go MIA. Okay, you've already left 2, 3 voicemails, text, email. So what I'm about to show you is not going to be the first email you would send it, or not going to be the first voicemail or the first text message. It's typically about 3 to 4 messages in that I'm going to go over specifically how to get them engaged. All right. Now, here's what you're first going to do right here. Now, typically, like I said, this is going to be your 3rd or your 4th message. Okay, you've already left voicemails, you've already sent text, you've already done emails, all right? Now, typically, if you sell business to consumer, you can send this out the next day after that last email or last voicemail you sent. If you sell more B2B, I wouldn't send this for probably 2 or 3 days after that last voicemail or last email or last text message you sent. It's a little bit different there, okay? All right, so here's what you're gonna say. And I want you to write this word for word. Do not change the wording. Do not change the verbiage. I can assure you, if you do, you're not going to get the same result. Okay? Now, you're going to say, like, hey, their name. And then you go down a line. Hey, I did try to reach you a few times and left a few messages, but we didn't hear back. ... Do 3 dots, 5 dots. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. And then you're simply going to ask right below that. Now you're going to space out. Don't put this sentence right here where they can't really see it, where it blends in together like one paragraph. You want to space it out, like scroll down like 1 or 2 notches and just simply say, where should we go from here? That's it. Hey, Sally, I tried to reach you a few times and left a few messages last week, but we didn't hear back. Where should we go from here? And that's it. Or you can say, how do you want to proceed from here? So either where should we go from here, or how do you want to proceed from here? I personally like this better. Where should we go from here? It depends on the industry, and a lot of it depends on you. But typically, we're getting like, with our clients in your industry, we're getting like a 60 to 75% response to this. Now, like I said, this is not the first email or the first text message you send out. This is after you've already probably left them a couple voicemails, emailed them a couple times, left a few text messages that they never responded to. Okay, this is like your third or fourth attempt. I just want to specify to that. And remember, this is for only prospects you've had a discovery conversation with, not somebody you've never talked to. It's not going to work for that, okay? Now, if you're like one of those like crazy salespeople that like has no sales ability because you haven't been trained by us yet, or like you're like one of those like hardcore super pressure salespeople where it's like buy or die, and at the very end they're like F you, like the prospect is like screaming at you, is this going to work that well? You're not going to get this percentage. You got to learn back. You got to go and learn really how to sell the right way, where the prospect qualifies to you, and you learn how to bring, you learn how to build urgency in that process. You learn how to build internal urgency or internal tension, not external sales pressure, big difference, but internal tension in that prospect where they feel the pain of not changing their situation, and they see that this is going to keep being painful if they don't change. It's a whole different way to sell, and you make way more sales. Can you imagine that? Okay, so you got to learn how to sell the right way. Now, let's see if I did a voicemail, it's going to sound a little bit different. Say voicemail, hey Sally, it's Jeremy Miner. I called you a few times last week. We left a few messages, but we didn't hear back. Where do you want to go from here? Now, I'm going to be available here for a bit today. If I don't answer, leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I have time later today or tomorrow. Okay? So it sounds a little bit different, but this is strictly email right here. Okay? I don't want you to say anything else. Don't say at the end of this, I'm looking forward to your response, or I'm really hoping to work with you, or I'm praying you're okay. Just don't say anything else but this, word for word. I promise you don't want to mess that up. Okay? Now, what happens to, let's say, the 40 to, let's say, the 30 to 40% that won't respond to this, okay? You want me to show you what to do next? Let's say they don't respond to that email or voicemail that you just sent, or even text message, okay? You don't want to then just email them again or call them again the next day. Like I said, this is not your first or second attempt to reach them. We are talking about this right here is probably your fifth message. Okay, let me change that a little bit, okay? Yeah, so this is probably like one of your last attempts to reach them, not your first attempt. You want to make sure you do this in the right sequence. So after about 4 or 5 days, after that last email or message I just showed you to send, okay, once again, there's probably 2 or 3 messages before that, all right? You got to make sure you do it in the right order. Then you can simply email back or call back and leave a message or even text back and say, we didn't hear back. Did you give up on... And then you're going to repeat back what they said they wanted. Did you give up on, you could repeat back their problem, their main problem, so that you can, and you repeat back what they said they want. I'm going to show you some industry specific examples here in a second. I didn't hear back from you. Did you give up on, putting in the right operations team so you could scale to $12 million a month? Or what actually happened? Okay, see what I'm doing now, okay? Did you give up on solving the main problem so that you can, and you repeat back what they said they wanted? Now, don't use generic terms like, did you give up on solving your problems so you have a better situation? Those are too vague. It's too generalized. It means nothing to your prospect. You need to be very specific about the problem they said they have, and then so they can, and then repeat back what they said they wanted. And then at the end of that, you're going to say, or what actually happened? That's all you're going to do, okay, in that email or text, all right? Now, let me show you a few industry-specific examples here. Let's say if you sold business consulting, it's a big space for training as well. Did you give up on putting in the right operations so you can scale to $12 million a month, or what actually happened? Okay, see what I can do there? So think about your industry. Like, what would you actually put there? Now, if you want to learn more about how to tie this into your industry, the next step is to simply text me. It's the best place to reach me at. It's like the place I actually answer questions. So I'm going to put the number right here. It's 480-637-2944. Every day I lock myself and a couple of sales trainers in a conference room for about an hour, and we just answer your text messages. So if you want to learn how to do this for what you sell, simply text us and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right, let's get back into the training now. Okay, now let's say I'm a fitness trainer. Okay, I talked to this prospect, they ghosted me. I sent out that one email before. Where should we go from here? Didn't hear back from you, left a few messages. Where should we go from here? They don't respond. 3 or 4 days later, I email back. Hey, we didn't hear back. Did you give up on losing the 87 pounds so that you can walk your daughter down the aisle? Or what actually happened? Now, you don't say so you can walk your daughter down the aisle when she gets married if he never brought that up, right? Because then that would be kind of like, that's a douchebag question, right? But if that prospect says, man, I got to lose this 87 pounds because I'm afraid that when 5 years from now, I might have a heart attack and I can't walk my 2 daughters down the aisle, then you would plug that in. If they didn't say that, you wouldn't say that. It wouldn't make any sense. All you're doing is you're plugging in like, hey, the problem was they need to lose the weight so they can, and you repeat back very specifically, not vague or generalized, very specifically what they wanted to do once they solved that problem. Did you give up on losing the 87 pounds so you're able to walk your 2 daughters down the aisle when they get married, or what actually happened? It's very hard for the prospect not to respond to that, okay? Did you give up on? Okay, my good friend Chris Voss, FBI negotiator, just had him over here about a month ago on my podcast, spoke on some stage with him. He'll talk to you a little bit about that. Did you give up on losing? Did you give up on? It's a technique that triggers their emotions about, no, I didn't give up on that. Now, it's very hard for them to actually give up on what actually happened. They'll always email you back with something like, oh, I got busy. I'm so sorry. I'm ready to get started. Or, oh, I got so busy because my mom went into the nursing home and I couldn't get back to you. Or we decided now's not a good time for us. Or we decided to go with a different company. And now you're in a two-way conversation back with them to help them overcome that concern. All right. Hope that helped you today. Now, your next step, if you want more training videos like this, because I release about 2 to 3 a week, simply hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification button. So when I post a new training video every single week, you get notified and you can come here and learn more. And then as you have questions on this, the best way to reach me for answers, like if you want to learn like, hey, this sounds good, Jeremy, but I don't know how to do it for my industry. That's why I'm here. That's why I started this company, is to help you. Simply text me at this number, 480-636-2944. Remember, I've always got your back. That's why I came out of retirement to start 7th Level, to help you close more deals in a way that actually makes you feel comfortable, in a way where you can sell far more than you are now, and you help a lot more of your prospects get where they want. Hope that helped you. I'll see you when you text me.